Hi guys, I'm Choni Selden and a mother of one. After hosting Do You Know a Child, a game show focusing on parent-child relationship for almost 4 years now, I thought I knew quite a lot about parenting. On April 24th last year, I became a mother to a healthy baby girl, Genzo. When the doctors first put her on my chest, I was so excited to hold her, kiss her, love her, and just enjoy our time as mother and daughter. But what came with her was lots of worries, questions, confusions, and some tears. This is why we'll now bring to you this 15-minute program every week to help out all the struggling parents out there.
Let's take a look at the topics covered last week.
Breastfeeding on demand, also known as feeding on cue and baby-led feeding, is about responding flexibly to your baby's hunger cues. The hospitals here actually encourage you to feed your baby at night.
Those prolactin and oxytocins are produced more in the night, and also baby tend to feed more, stay up, alert in the night. Prolactin is a hormone which helps in production of breast milk.
It will be painful, it will be tiring, but it shall not stop. Even though nothing comes out of you, you just keep trying and let your baby suckle. Because eventually, with all that suckling and all that stimulation from your baby, you will produce.
Alui ka bombe jan chauchi omgi kutogi zawale nap yumiti chanyam alui kana zugop I.
During the first few weeks, a new mother struggles with production. So here are some tips to help you with increasing your milk supply so you can feed your little one.
In the first 1 week, they have lots of problem with production problem. So at the moment, maximum patients that are coming to my clinic are with such problem. So normally, nature has created us in such a way that initially immediately after birth, the production is quite very least, minimal, and the size of the tummy, the nature has created us is first right after birth, the size of your baby's tummy is like a cherry size. It could be like a thumb size. No? So that time our production is also very least. In order to improve the production, we encourage them to let the baby suckle on the breast. So what we are doing at the moment, the hospital is practicing, is the moment baby is out, they'll put on your chest. The research has proven that earlier the initiation of breastfeeding, there is more production, and baby also learns how to breastfeed earlier, and production also increases. When there's a stimulation on the breast, on your nipple, baby stimulates here. When there's a stimulation, there's a enzyme production, prolactin production. When we have more prolactin production, then the milk producing factory will start producing more breast milk. We also encourage them to take more of liquid diet. Once they are a nursing mother, we encourage them to take before feeding, after feeding, before feeding and after feeding. And also we always, whenever they come to my clinic, I always encourage them take a mug of or a cup of liquid diet, be it juice, anything, any liquid soup, not a fizzy drinks, but any other type of drinks. So drink 1 mug before feeding and try to breastfeed. Then after feeding, again try to take a mug of liquid diet and take rest. So before next 2 hours feeding, again she tried to take once and then do breastfeeding. Similarly, most mother complain they don't have enough breast milk in the night, because mothers, they don't after dinner they hardly take anything till morning mula. And babies they breastfeed more in the night because they hardly sleep in the night. So we always encourage them to practice that in the night time also. And even when they're visiting hospital and other places where they have to stay for a long time, try to pack and take with them. So when they are waiting, they can at least take that liquid diet, which increases the production.
and offer both sides. Let baby finish the first side, then offer the second side. And there's a very important reason for that. If you don't let your baby empty the first side, she will only be drinking what they call the foremilk. And what is foremilk, you ask?
First breast milk, if you try to express and say, it's like a watery, it's white, watery, more of like a bluish in color or something like that. If you see, it's like transparent, whatever. And after feeding, if you try to express and say, it's like more like a cow milk, white one. So the foremilk, in order to like get both the content, the foremilk and the hind milk, you have to like feed on one breast completely before you offer the other breast milk. So if you're feeding here and if baby starts crying, if you change the position, again after some time you change here, which means your baby is getting only the foremilk, which contains like more of water and less of starch and fats. So if your baby doesn't get the starch one and the fat one, your baby one like will be hungry and its weight will not increase. That's why we encourage them, if you feed on right breast, feed completely till it is empty. That's like for 15 to 20 minutes. Before feeding, we have to cross-check that whether your breast milk is full or not. While breastfeeding, make sure your baby is not sleeping, it's continuously actively sucking for 15 to 20 minutes. So after breastfeeding, you have cross-check to see if your breast has become empty or not, which means your baby got both the content of breast milk.
When I wasn't making enough milk, I did two things you're discouraged to do, and please don't do it. Number one, I fed my baby formula once a day for about 3 days because I was worried she would be dehydrated. We're encouraged to exclusively breastfeed our babies for 6 months. However, I resorted to formula because it was day 3 and I still wasn't producing any milk, and I felt so bad for my daughter. And the second thing you're not supposed to do is using a breast pump. I used a breast pump because I thought the act of expressing or pumping would help me produce more. However, this is totally a bad idea because your first milk, which is the colostrum, is supposed to be the best for your baby. So if you express your first milk and throw it away, then your child never gets it. So refrain yourself from expressing during the first week or 2, unless you decide to express it and then bottle feed that breast milk to your baby. The hospital discourages you from bottle feeding your baby, even though it is your milk and not formula. If for some reason you can't breastfeed, then the second alternative the hospital advises you to do is the cup and spoon feeding.
First thing is bottle, we are using a nipple. The other thing is bottle has the nipple, the lid and all, and it is a plastic bottle. And the other issue is we like parents, maybe like first 2 to 3 days, if it is a first baby, they will be excited and they can boil after like before every feed. Then as and when the baby starts growing and parents doesn't get good enough enough rest, forget about boiling. They will feel lazy even to clean that with hot water. That's why like it causes diarrhea, vomiting. That's why we are saying it's unhygienic. They used to say nipple confusion. Now they have like reframed the word. It's not nipple confusion, it's nipple preference. Because if you put the baby on bottle feeding, it's quite longer and firm to latch on. And you don't have to use energy. It flows on its own. Whereas on mother's breast, they have to use their energy. And like on mother's breast, when they suckle, use their energy only, the breast is flowing out. And the amount of flow that they get is compared to the bottle feeding is quite less. So they prefer bottle over the mother's milk. And the other reason is like if you're doing bottle feeding and again you're doing the giving breastfeeding at a time, then it's a mixed feeding. And the risk is higher in mixed feeding, risk of getting infection and other baby getting sick is very high in mixed feeding. In bottle feeding, I think baby is suckling more gas also.
I see.
Because half part of the bottle is empty and she's suckling from a larger outlet, the outlet of the nipple that's coming, the breast milk, the milk coming out, that's quite large and baby is suckling more air.
In the beginning, I didn't think much of it. But now I feel like breastfeeding is one of the best things I decided to do for myself and for my child for these reasons. Breast milk is best for your baby, and the benefits of breastfeeding extends well beyond basic nutrition. In addition to containing all the vitamins and nutrients your baby needs in the first 6 months of life, breast milk is packed with disease-fighting substances that protect your baby from illness. Number 2, your breast milk is specifically tailored to your baby. Your body responds to pathogens, that's virus and bacteria, that are in your body and makes secretory IgA that's specific to those pathogens, creating protection for your baby based on whatever you're exposed to. Breastfeeding's protection against illness lasts beyond your baby's breastfeeding stage too. Studies have shown that breastfeeding can reduce a child's risk of developing certain childhood cancers. Scientists don't know exactly how breast milk reduces the risk, but they think antibodies in breast milk may give a baby's immune system a boost. Breastfeeding may also help children avoid a host of diseases that strike later in life, such as type 1 and type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, and inflammatory bowel disease. Babies who are fed formula based on cow's milk or soya tend to have more allergic reactions than breastfed babies. Scientists think that immune factors such as secretory IgA, only available in breast milk, help prevent allergic reactions to food by providing a layer of protection to a baby's intestinal tract. Breastfeeding may boost your child's intelligence. It may protect your child from obesity too. Experts think that breastfeeding may affect later weight gain for several reasons. One being breastfed babies are better at eating until their hunger is satisfied, leading to healthier eating patterns as they grow. And number 2, breast milk contains less insulin than formula. Insulin stimulates the creation of fat. And for mothers, breastfeeding can reduce your stress level and your risk of postpartum depression. Women who didn't breastfeed or who stopped breastfeeding early on had a higher risk of postpartum depression. Many women report feeling relaxed while breastfeeding. That's because nursing triggers the release of the hormone oxytocin. Numerous studies in animals and humans have found that oxytocin promotes nurturing and relaxation. Oxytocin released while nursing also helps your uterus contract after birth, resulting in less postpartum bleeding. By the way, if you're being treated for depression, you can still breastfeed.
If a mother is HIV positive, she should not breastfeed her baby, and the hospital will still supplying the formula feeding for 1 year till the baby is 1 year old. Other than that condition, whether mother has diarrhea, vomiting, flu, whatever she has, she can continue breastfeeding.
All right, our 15 minutes is up, which means we have to end this here. But do join us next week to learn more about On that note, we have come to the end of this episode of Parentology on breastfeeding. If you have any questions or feedback, you can write to me at choni@bbs.bt or find me on Instagram under the name Chozug, that's CHOZUG. We'll also upload this episode on YouTube under the channel titled BBS Channel 2. Make sure to subscribe to that channel and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. With that, wishing you a joyful parenting, this is Chozuk saying Lokshuli Jege with another exciting episode on parenting at Parentology. Until then, support each other and stay positive.